say that this meeting is being recorded for the minute taking purposes, as well as for posting of the recording on the agency's website. This meeting is also being live streamed on the Access Health CT website. Thank you.
Okay. Okay, it's a little after 10 a.m. and I call the meeting this Thursday, May 9th, Human Resource meeting to order. And Martin, you want to take attendance?
Yes, Mr. Chair. Thomas McNeil, Chair.
Present. Present.
Thank you. Steven Hernandez. Paul Philpott.
Here.
And Sean King.
Here.
Thank you. And I think at this point, the members of the senior leadership team may introduce themselves.
Sure.
Good morning, all. James Michelle, Access Health Connecticut.
Good morning, Gina Walsh, Director of Operations, Access Health.
Good morning, Holly Zwick, Director of Finance, Access Health CT.
Good morning, Susan Rich-By, Access Health CT, Director of Legal and Governmental Affairs.
Good morning, everyone. Glenn Jurgen, Director of Human Resources with Access Health Connecticut.
Mr. Chair, we did not receive, no public comments have been received.
Okay. Why don't we proceed with the agenda? Review and approval of the minutes. I'd entertain a motion to approve the minutes.
Mr. Chair, the minutes would be from February 8th, 2024, Human Resources Committee regular meeting minutes. I'm sorry, who made a motion?
Sean.
Okay.
Sean,
I made a motion, Paul.
Okay.
Okay, we've got a motion and a second. All those in favor of approving the minutes as presented indicate by
Mr. Chair,
roll call.
Mr. Chair, I'm sorry for interrupting. We will do a roll call on the to approve the minutes. So I just want to make sure that Mr. Paul Philpott made a motion and there was a second by Mr. Sean King. And is there any discussion on the motion?
Hearing no discussion, why don't we take a vote?
Thank you. Thomas McNeil?
Yes.
Steven Hernandez? Paul Philpott?
Yes.
And Sean King?
Yes.
Thank you.
Okay, that brings us to item D on the agenda, dealing with leadership development. Glenn, do you want to speak to this topic?
Yes, I will. Thank you very much. Good morning, everyone. Glenn Jurgen, Director of Human Resources here at Access Health Connecticut. Thank you all for joining the meeting today. Have some exciting updates to share with you regarding our training and development as far as what we're doing with internal activities on a few initiatives that we have going on here at Access Health. We recently rolled out a training program that we've internally dubbed as LEAP, which is Leadership Excellence at Access Health Program. These are 4 half-day sessions held off-site, and there are 8 participants in this program. The majority of those participants are in management, supervisory roles, and have put their hat in the ring for director level roles here at the organization within the past few months. As you know, we had an opening for a director of information technology, and we also had an opening for a director of finance. Both of those have been filled, but we did have some internal interest. And the common feedback for a lot of these individuals was that they needed some more experience in leadership experience as well. And what we wanted to do was to get ahead of that process by offering them a program that would give them some insight into what that looks like going forward. Certainly, we could have just said, hey, you need more experience and let that experience happen, but we really wanted to give them the tools to make that successful. So what we did is we engaged with Bob Zwicky, who is from Peer 27 Coaching and Development. Bob has worked with the senior leadership team extensively We've done some offsites as leadership team building. We've done some strategy offsites with Bob to speak more clearly and in depth about our 4 strategic initiatives that are currently in flight or processed to be in flight here at Access Health. And Bob has done some one-on-one coaching for our senior leadership team members as well, and kind of making the rounds through all members of senior leadership. So Bob designed a program for our emerging leaders here that is similar to what's being done for the senior leaders, but more appropriate for their level of experience and expertise at this point in time. So it's kind of a slightly condensed version of what a leader or a director would get out there from Bob's program, but we're really excited about it. We've had some great feedback from this. As I mentioned, it's 8 participants, most of them who have put themselves out there to grow and develop in the organization. The focus areas of this process are going to be leadership presence, situational leadership, communication and feedback, and strategic thinking. And Marcin, if you could advance to the next slide, I'll go into some more detail on what these sessions actually entail. So these are group sessions. We're holding them off-site. We feel it's good to get out of the office environment, get to a place that's a bit disconnected, where folks can really focus on the materials at hand and not have the distractions of being in the office. These group sessions are engaging they're interactive. They're developing new leadership behaviors. They're fostering collaboration and peer learning. I've been a part of these in terms of helping with, just getting these set up and whatnot. And folks are really engaging with each other. These are folks who may not work together on a day-to-day basis. They're certainly in different departments, but they're seeing different sides and different skill sets of what they have. So it's really allowing a different level of collaboration that they may not have with either the traditional meetings that they have in the office, or even they may not be meeting together on a regular basis just due to the different tracks of their department and business. Focusing on real-world applications. There's going to be an opportunity for them to participate in a special project or existing projects within Access Health Connecticut, and apply those newly acquired leadership skills in a practical session. And this next part really helps tie everything together. We're excited about this as well, because this is, while it's not classroom, this whole session, if you will. They're very interactive. They're very interpersonal. This really helps tie it together, because these individuals will be working with Bob. Each of them gets 4 personalized coaching sessions per participant, which is we think that's pretty amazing, because usually that's reserved for higher level folks in an organization, not just Access Health. So we're giving them an opportunity there to really have those one-on-one coachable moments, to work with Bob, who's the coach, and come back, and try out the guidance or the advice that he's given, try out those skills that they've learned in these sessions, and really take it and run with it, and not just have, the proverbial person speaking at the podium, taking notes, and then you're off to figure it out on your own. There's also targeting the individual growth opportunities, where these people can grow their knowledge and expand, and receive tailored guidance and support. So it's, again, it's really a version of a program that's designed for, more of your senior leaders or another organization, executive leaders, and giving these folks an opportunity to understand what it's like to be a leader, what you need for that skill set to have in your toolbox, if you will, and how to grow and develop within Access Health and even outside of Access Health. That's a prominent theme we've had here at the organization. We certainly want people to grow and contribute here, but we also realize that, we may be helping them on their journey along the way years down the road. So we're giving these folks an opportunity to develop here at Access Health, to make us a better organization, but to make them better people and better workers and leaders as they move forward in their career. Some of these folks are younger, and they may not be with Access Health for the remainder of their career. So we want to give them the best available options to move forward and allow them to be successful. But I'll pause here. I know I just put a lot out there, but if there's any questions or comments from the committee, I welcome them at this time. Okay, Marcin, why don't we move along to the next session then, which would encompass our 10 clicks project here. So I'm sure many of you have heard about the 10 clicks piece, but I'll just give you another brief overview. The 10 clicks project is a project that's been named 10 clicks or less. It's an ambitious goal to reduce our enrollment system to 10 clicks or less, which, you know, may not be possible, but we're hanging our hat on that. And it's a revamp of our current enrollment system. Our enrollment system has been in place since inception, which has been, 11 or 12 years or so. It's the only enrollment system we've used. It's the only enrollment system our employees are familiar with. So while it might not be, let's say, the latest and the greatest, a lot of our folks are comfortable with it. They know when it needs a little nudge, or, you might have to reboot part of it to get it working again. They know the nuances of it. So this is going to be a large scale change for a lot of folks within the organization and outside of the organization. The overall goal of the program is to make it, I'm boiling down the ocean here, folks, it's to make it easier for folks to enroll in Access Health Connecticut plans. And the end goal of that is, if you have a system that's easier to enroll in, you're going to reduce the number of uninsured, and you're going to reduce health disparities because people have easier access to getting that insurance. So that's the very simple version of it, but we do realize here that this is a huge change for our folks. Like I said, this is the only system they've known. I've shared with you folks at the last meeting, our average tenure here is over 5 years. So this is the system people have either grown up with or come to the organization and been familiar with. So what we want to do is really, really get ahead of this process. This is a multi-year project that we've just started doing a lot of the preliminary work, looking at other exchanges, looking at other systems, speaking with outside vendors at very preliminarily, and getting an idea of where we want to go with this. But as also part of that is we want to get the change management process rolling as soon as possible. So I've given a little bit of an overview here. I won't read every single bullet point here, folks, but kind of a high level of what change management looks like is, getting the organization to understand the change. Also talking about the actual process of what that looks like. And, we're realizing there's going to be challenges and resistance. There are some people, we all know them in our lives. They'll be the first ones to run out and get the latest gadget. They're not worried about the bugs or anything. They just want the latest one, whether it's a phone or a laptop or what have you, electric car. They'll work it out, the early adopters. But there are some other folks who are more conservative on that. We want to make sure that they're comfortable with this rollout as well. And also we need to get leadership involved. What is their role? How can they guide folks with this? And engaging the employees as well. We want to explain the importance of this change. And this is a point we're very, very cognizant about, everyone, is we're doing this, as I mentioned at the beginning of this slide, to make it easier for people to enroll, to reduce the uninsured and reduce health disparities. This isn't as a cost-cutting way, a way to reduce headcount or anything of that nature. Now, of course, we may get some efficiencies as an added benefit, but we're not here to reduce headcount. And what we plan on doing is, if there are components of jobs, we don't see this being a way that's going to eliminate any jobs 100%, but there may be some components of jobs that are more automated or simpler to do. And we're going to reskill those employees, and we're going to let them know that, this isn't something we're going to say, oh, sorry, there's not a full-time job, we're going to cut you to part-time. No, we'll figure something out to do, and that will come out into the change management process. And what we're doing now, folks, is we've kind of anointed ourselves the name, the steering committee, which is made up of senior leadership team members. We're speaking with external vendors now, and hope to have a statement of work and a contract signed by the end of this fiscal year for a change management process. And Marcin, if we could go to the next slide. Oh, okay, that was the last one. Let's just go back to that. I'm sorry, I thought there were two here. But that's, folks, is a general overview of what we want to do. We want the organization to be on board, comfortable, and understand what's coming down the pike. I'm sure we've all been through system changes before, where it's kind of that, fire drill at the last minute, what's being rolled out. either there was a lack of training, a lack of communication, and it really makes things extremely challenging during those first few days, weeks, or months with it, if not everybody's on board with it. Of course, with anything, there's going to be a few bumps in the road, but we're being real strategic here to get ahead of it, to make sure everybody understands what is going on, what their roles are, and what needs to be done to make this successful and what the overall mission is. But I'll pause here for any questions or comments on this process.
Glenn, this is Paul. So in looking at 10 clicks, I would assume that the synergies would be on the call center side, meaning that if more of the enrollment is done quickly and more efficiently through technology, then you're going to have less calls to the call center. Does that make sense?
Yes, that's a possible outcome. That is a possible outcome.
Yeah, Paul, and not just the call center. We also have our own staff who handles a lot of the more challenging customer issues, and that's also going to benefit them as well, because self-service will become more self-service available to our customers. So we are expecting some very good efficiencies to come out of this. That's going to make us less reliant on the call center as well as our own internal folks. And also, Paul, there's a lot of communication of our system with our carrier's system. And usually those links are not as strong as they could be, and because the new technology is going to make it more efficient. And that's usually the driver of a lot of calls to the call center, is when the carriers don't get the information, or they get it, it's not processed properly on their end, and people are not enrolled on a timely manner. I'm sure Sean probably gets some of those calls. Could we get them as well? So we think overall when this is all said and done, we're going to be in a much better position than we currently are, and that should save us some money. As Glenn said, we're not looking to fire anybody, so we will have new skill sets will be needed. So we will have to reskill our employees to handle the new areas of need that we would have out of the when 10 clicks is up and running.
Just a question, Glenn. The 10 clicks is down from how many clicks?
Oh, that's a really good question. I think we stopped counting the last time we looked at it.
Yeah. Well, Tom, we know that if you are a Medicaid applicant, some of the clicks could be over 100 clicks. Over 100 clicks, and if you are in a QHP, could be up to 100. Right. So it depends on your situation, how many clicks you have to go through. But again, our system was designed and built back in 2012. And even then, the technology that our vendor used back then was about 10 to 15 years old.
I got you.
Right. So we think that this will go a long way to help us. More importantly, as Glenn indicated, help connected residents to apply for health insurance, make it easier and faster for them to apply. As you might imagine, a good chunk of our applicants are folks who are working, hourly workers, and typically hourly workers get about half an hour for lunch. To try to apply for health insurance to Access Health, half an hour is not enough time, given the length of time it takes to go through the application, whether you do it yourself online or if you call a call center. So we think this is really going to be very helpful to those folks who are trying to do it themselves or call a call center. Much more efficient, much more effective.
Okay.
Excellent.
Thanks for the info on the leadership training, as well as the 10 clicks management change.
Very welcome. Thank you, Tom. In committee.
Any other questions for Glenn? Okay. At this time, I entertain a motion to go into executive session to discuss personnel matters and exempt from disclosure under Connecticut General Statute 1-200, parent 6A.
This is Paul. I move to move the meeting to executive session.
This is Sean. I'll second.
Any discussion? Hearing none, we'll take a vote on moving to executive session.
Thomas McNeil,
Yes.
Steven Hernandez, Paul Philpott,
Yes.
and Sean King.
Yes.
Thank you. And at this time, members of the committee will disconnect from the committee call-in number and will connect to the separate executive session call-in number, which was provided earlier. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you.
Are we all good, March, and everyone dropped off?
Yes, but we are still broadcasting on through our website, so we're just going to
Yes.
mute ourselves. Okay.
Yep, thank you.
Thank you. Hello, Mr. McNeil.
Yes.
Okay, so you're back. So after we gather all the committee members, then we'll need to have a vote to officially come out of the executive session.
Well, we actually took that vote.
Oh, you did take that. Okay.
Yeah. And it was unanimous vote to come out of the executive session.
So, excuse me, Tom, you can't, there's no votes allowed in executive session. So you have to do
Okay.
the vote here in the meetings.
Okay.
So I
no
hope we
problem.
have all three of you. Is
Yeah, I think
Paul
Paul just needs to
here
sign in.
too?
Yeah.
Yep,
Yeah.
thank you so much.
Mhm.
Okay, Mr. Chair, I believe we do have a quorum right now.
Okay.
So you can go ahead and make a motion.
Okay. I'd entertain a motion that we close the executive session meeting.
So moved.
So moved, Paul.
Here a
I'll second,
second.
Sean.
Second by Mr. King. Okay.
You want to call the roll for a vote?
Okay. So no, is there any discussion, Mr. McNeil, on the motion?
No discussion here. Yes,
No.
for the motion.
Okay. Okay. Thomas McNeil,
Yes.
Steven Hernandez, Paul Philpott,
Yes.
and Sean King.
Yes.
Thank you.
I don't think, is there any other business to come before us for the good of the order? Hearing none, I'd entertain a motion to adjourn this meeting.
So moved, Sean.
So moved, Paul.
Seconded.
I'll second, Sean.
Okay. Thank you. Roll call. Thomas McNeil,
Yes.
Steven Hernandez, Paul Philpott,
Yes.
and Sean King.
Yes.
Thank you so much.
Okay.
Thank you, guys.
Thanks a lot. Appreciate
Everybody.
it.
Thanks
Thank
for
you,
your time,
everybody.
everybody. Great to see you. Really appreciate it. Take care all. Have a great weekend.
Bye.
Bye now.
Thanks, you too.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.